we're now officially live on YouTube as well. So
Nice.
let me just give it a minute to do what it does. I'm going to introduce you, and then we'll just go ahead and see where things go. Because I hold on one second. I already know, Toni, you've got probably about 20 hours of content, but we have 1 hour. So, so I'm going
That
to, the
sounds
majority
good.
of, yeah, the majority of the time I'm going to actually give to you. So welcome everybody to the webinar. And actually, I gave this webinar so many, kind of a couple of different titles. But if you really want to 10x your production, your life, really everything, your mental body, your spiritual body, your physical body, your emotional body, you really want to 10x it. It all starts in the mind. We all know that. We all know that. And yet, even though we know it, Toni, so few of us will dedicate the time that it takes to really retrain,
Yep.
retrain the mind. And so, my good friend Toni, I'm so excited that Toni has joined me. Toni and I have known each other for more than a dozen years. She formerly was the broker of record of one of the largest real estate offices in the country. Over 400 agents that she was broker of record. She did that for 13 years. And one of the biggest things that she saw, the challenges she saw with the agents that she was a broker of, was their mind. And I want to tell a quick story before I kind of pass the mic over to you, Toni, and you can kind of officially sort of introduce your background and yourself, why
Sure.
we should listen to you. And that is, when I first got in the real estate business, I was 8 months in the business and I was doing really well production wise. But my goal, Toni, was to do 40 deals a year.
Mm.
That was where my mind was. And I thought that was great. I mean, I thought that was just phenomenal. Well, here's what I did. I hired a coach. I started paying $1,000 a month. And I know there's a lot of agents out there like, man, ain't no way I'm paying 1,000 a month. But here's what my coach did for me.
Mm.
She sat me down. She said, Knolly, I know that you want to do 40 deals a year. I get that. And that's great. That would be more than most agents. But let's bump it to 100. And I said, 100? Are you crazy? I said, there's no way I'm going to do it. She said, Knolly, I want to make a promise to you. If you do 100 deals a year, you'll work half as much as if you do 40.
Mhm.
And I didn't understand at the time, Toni, the magic thing of leverage, but I didn't understand. But this was a mindset shift for me.
Yeah.
So, but I allowed my mind to go there. And just simply by renewing my mind, by transforming the way that I thought, I went from 40 deals in my mind to 100 deals. By year two, I was doing 100 deals a year and was able to do over 1,000 transactions my first 10 years in the business. Whereas it probably would have been closer to 300 to 400. And I know I get it. A lot of agents are like, oh, I'd be happy to settle with 300 or 400. But here's the thing. This shift in mindset allowed me to take nights and weekends off. Okay,
Right.
4 to 5 vacations a year. Y'all know how I like to travel, roll, and it allowed me to be debt free, and all the, and also to make over 500,000 a year, which was really good. So it was just a shift in the mind. So you
Mhm.
guys are here, you're in the room, and I want you, Toni, to just share with us a little bit about your background and
Sure.
why are you the master of being able to teach this whole concept of mindset?
And Nolly, first of all, I just want to take a moment to give grace and gratitude for our relationship and just for the opportunity to have been able to work with you over these years. Nolly has been an inspiration to me for the last at least 15 years. And we worked very closely together back in 2007 when the market was doing its thing, right? We had the blessing of being able to help people and work with people to get through that crisis. And I must say that you know that's how you and I came together. We have this common bond, and the bond has a lot to do with the mindset. So I've been in the business for 21 years now. Started out with Prudential John Arrow in Beverly Hills. Then I moved over to Keller Williams in Santa Monica. And like I said, that was in 2007. I was really challenged with what was going on with the economy, what was going on with our real estate market, and our clients. Our clients really needed support. And I really leaned into, mastering and creating a niche in the space of distressed properties and distressed circumstances. So I've been in the business 21 years. Again, Prudential John Arrow. When I moved over to Keller Williams had an amazing culture and an amazing environment. So it was really great because we were always being empowered. We were being empowered by the courses, the culture, the just all of the leadership, if you would. So after really getting immersed in helping people and getting people through these circumstances, that's when I really started to discover what my purpose was. And I got asked to serve as the broker of record. Initially, I did not want to do it, but it was my dear friend Tamara Robinson, who was the team leader at the time, and she said, "Toni, this, you got it in your heart to help people. This position will give you the ability to really support people in a way that you love to do." So, by the grace of our source and our maker and our God, I have been blessed to be in an environment where I absolutely love what I do. And I found that when you stay close to your passion and when you discover who you really are, for many years we're all just going through the motions. We get our license, we get trained, we get in the business, we're hustling, trying to get that next deal, right? But we're not necessarily tapped in initially to why are we here. I didn't say how, because the how is not in when you start rolling, you start especially working on mindset, you really come to understand that it's not about the how. Okay, because we're really not running it like we think we're running it, right? But we're really not running it.
Right.
But the point is that mindset has been something that has really been a part of my life from, I want to say, high school, and that thereafter I really started becoming curious about how do all these things happen? How are all these things in place? Where is that coming from? And I come to realize that this is something much greater than me. I couldn't put it together, right? But you start to study and you start to realize, this is when I started doing a lot of personal development work. And I thought, when you stay tapped in, then everything just flows.
Yeah.
But you must tap in. You must work on yourself. You must work on yourself daily. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of an overview of where I am today. Of course, I made this transition to EXP, which I'm super, super excited about. I can't believe it's been 11 months, Knolly.
Yeah. Is that crazy or what? It's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, get this. So I'm looking at the chat too, and I see. Thank you guys for engaging in the chat. You guys see this is our tribe here, Toni, and they always know that I do this. Uncle Knolly skipped it this time. Put in the chat where you're from. We got Dorothy in Birmingham, Alabama. We got Navtej in Vancouver, BC, in the house.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Claudia from Baltimore. We've got hold on a second. You got now they're hitting it now, boys.
Yeah.
It's moving now.
Wait,
so we've got look at this. We've got Hemi out of Vancouver. We've got Jerry City. That's Key in Jerry City. We got Rick in Phoenix, Aaron in Waco, Leah from Los Angeles, Regina. What's up, Regina? Fellow mentorship master in Waxahachie. We've got Eric, one of our masters in Panama City. We've got Justin, one of our masters in Savannah, and then Matthew out of Minnesota, Sharice out of Nebraska, Orly out of Los Angeles, Shadrach. What's up, Shadrach? Fellow master out of Fort Washington, Maryland. We got Rachel in South Carolina, Marie in Orlando, Will Gilliam. What's up, buddy? From the Lake LBJ area. And then we've got Michigan, Northfield, Michigan in the house with Renee. We've got Stacy from Austin. Man, this goes on and on. You guys don't stop. So Kimberly Mitchell, Florence, and so on. I mean, we got a ton of people in the house. If I didn't get to you, I apologize. But we have a big room, almost 100 people in the room right now. So thank you guys, Smithville,
Great.
Georgetown, Virginia Beach. I mean, and this really is the beauty. Of course, we're not here to talk about EXP because we've got people here from every brokerage. But it is the beauty of being virtual, and it is the
Right.
future. We got right now, we're sitting in a room, and I debated today because I have this desk that actually stands up. A lot of people don't know that about my desk. I click a button and it raises up, And I debated. I said, am I gonna stand up? Because a lot of times I like to stand up to get the energy going when I'm doing this. But I said, no, I'm gonna sit down with my people. I'm gonna sit down today. So that's what we're doing. We're having a sit down conversation around how to 10x your mindset so that your 22 will be absolutely awesome. And here's the cool thing, Toni. The
Yeah.
activities that our agents take right now today, the activities that they take are going to affect their 2022. It's going to mean what their Christmas is going to be like and what their
Yep.
22 is going to kick off like. All
Yep.
right. So with
Absolutely.
that, I'm gonna let you do the majority of the sort of the heavy lifting on this in terms of, you came up with this course called Mindset Dynamics,
Yep.
and it's I've studied wealth dynamics for many years as well, and now mindset dynamics. I was like, this is almost too good to be true, and I want you to be able to really share with us as much as you want about the upcoming course and just about what we can do today to have the kind of mindset that we need, and also why is the mind. I'm giving you a lot of stuff, but why
That's
is the
okay.
mind? Why is mindset so important? And here's the cool thing. Let me do an exercise while you cue that up, Toni. So
Yep.
what I want everyone to do, what I want you guys to do is I want you to think about how much money you would like to make every single month. Okay, what's your freedom number? Let's put it that way. What's your freedom number? You don't have to put it in the chat. This is personal. It's between you and Almighty, right? So how much do you want to make a month? 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, or if you're like me, it's going to be a higher number. It's going to keep going per month. So write that down. Write that down. Or if you're driving, don't write it down, please. Just put it in your reticular activator. Put it in your head. Now I want you to think about how much are you currently earning per month? What are you currently bringing in? You got your freedom number here, and you got what you're currently earning here. So what is the difference? So let's say, for example, your freedom number is 10,000 a month, but right now you're at 5,000 a month. Sam says not enough. I love it. I love it. What's up, Angelina? Charlotte in the house. So when you look at that, guys, here's what it is. The difference between your freedom number and where you are right now, I guarantee you, it's mindset. It's mindset. That's the difference. So when you start to adopt the kind of stuff that Toni teaches, okay, I like that. Toni teaches. That's good. Toni the teacher. Yeah. When you start to adopt the kind of stuff that Toni teaches, what happens is you fill in the gap because your mind already knows how to get all the success that you desire, okay, and require. Your mind already knows how to do it. It's just a matter of getting it to do what it needs to do. So having a poor mindset, if you want to make 20,000 a month and you're currently making 10, your mindset's costing you $10,000 a month. Okay. If you want to make 10,000 and you're currently making 5, guess what? Your mindset, not having the optimal mindset, okay, not having the dynamic mindset is costing you $5,000 a month. So the whole concept of, because I hear a lot of people, Toni, that I coach, they say, well,
Yeah.
I can't afford coaching. I can't afford coaching. Well, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you can't afford to make an extra 10 grand a month? Well, what do you mean? Well, yeah, you might have to spend a little money, but you could be making an extra 5 to 7,000 because your mind is keeping you from where you should be right now. So with that, Uncle Knolly's a little long-winded. I'm gonna actually mute myself, Toni, and
No, it's
unmute when
all
I need
good.
to.
It's all
And
good.
let
I'm actually trying to pull up the document here,
Okay.
and you're on a good roll.
Yeah. So Vivian, yeah, let me know when you're ready. Vivian says hello from is it Villa? See, I need to put on my glasses. I have my wife go get my glasses. But here's the thing, Toni, I'm gonna get some glasses like yours. Because a lot of people don't know this about me. I've been wearing glasses since I was 5 years old.
Okay.
But I don't wear them in public because I just don't like how they look. So I did contacts for a long time. But now that Uncle Knolly is in that age bracket, when I wear contacts, I can't read anything. And I'm a reader. I love to read. So
Yeah.
now I'm back to the glasses, but I got these nerdy glasses. I'm gonna rock some glasses like yours
Well,
soon.
these are my reading glasses or computer glasses, right? So I have my stylish glasses, and then I have the ones that I really need to get
Oh,
through
look at
things
this.
like this,
Look
right?
at this. Victoria says her glasses are very nice. And then Vivian says, I want some glasses like Toni. So we might just
Well,
switch gears and talk about glasses for a while. Yeah.
yeah, we'll switch gears and talk about glasses. Let me see. Am I able to share my screen?
Yeah, let me you should be able to because you're a panelist. If not, let me know.
Host disabled, participant sharing.
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
And I didn't really put together some major presentation for this as far as a slideshow or anything, but what I did, I do want to just point out kind of what the program is going to be, how the program is going to be structured, and what we're going to cover. This is a 6-week boot camp, okay?
Right.
Because it takes time to condition our minds. We have to retrain ourselves. It's almost like we're unconditioning ourselves, if you would. So I've been working on this for a long time, and my main purpose for really putting this together is for you guys, because you can achieve so much, and the efforts that it takes to get your mindset in the space it needs to be in order to attract, in order to really develop any and everything that you want to do. It's not that complicated. It really is not that complicated. But it does require consistency. It requires consistency, and it should be the first thing on your agenda, is to make sure your headspace is good, more than good, is great.
Yeah.
So just want
You can share now,
to
Toni.
share now.
You're good to
Okay,
share. Yeah.
great.
And like Toni said, guys, earlier, what she said was, you got to forget the how and enjoy the wow.
That's
Forget the
right.
how and
That's
enjoy the
right.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Everything is predicated on mindset. Everything you do. And if you probably hear a lot of, like, we got a lot of controversy around mindset. Any of the well-known, personal development icons, any of the thought leaders, the spiritual leaders, everybody understands that this mindset thing is key. So people hear that, but are they willing to do the work to get there? And when you do the work, it is mind-boggling how things just start happening. Things just start falling into place. And it starts with conditioning. I mean, there's so many different things, but more importantly, it's what you speak, you create. So you got to really be careful about what comes out of your mouth. You got to because what you speak, you create. What you focus on expands. I'm sure you hear this through a lot of the courses and a lot of the work that we do. But it is so powerful that people just they're not conscious of what comes out of their mouth. They're not conscious of them saying, well, I can't afford this, or this is why would you pay? I can't pay. I'll never be able to pay. That kind of dialogue will keep you stuck. It will keep you, it will keep you stuck. It will keep you from being able to really attract and manifest the things that are important to you. So the purpose of this whole mindset dynamics is really for us to do a deep dive and access the tools, processes, and resources that are necessary to give you clarity, confidence, motivation, security, guidance, vision, inspiration, all of these things are going to be predicated with mindset. So I have been, as Knolly mentioned, I've been the broker of record for a brokerage that had hundreds and hundreds of agents. And I will tell you that I want to say 90% of the agents, and that's a big number, but 90% of the agents are not working with their mindset. They're operating out of, I need to make a deal. I need to make some money. you know, um, it's just what was the NAR statistic, Knolly? It was 87%
Yeah.
of realtors that struggle with
Well,
with their business.
87% of realtors that come in the business
Yeah. Yeah.
fail within the first 2 years.
Yeah.
87%. So we have almost a 90% failure rate in this business. And it's funny because if you told anyone to come join a company or a business that had a 10% success rate,
Yeah.
or if you went in for a surgery and the guy said, "Hey, we got an 87% chance of failure," I think I'd opt out of that surgery, right? So
Yeah.
this is a profession that, and the only reason why they fail, Toni, like you said, is mindset. That's the only reason. I was talking to a gal yesterday, interestingly, that she within her first 14 months in the business, she did 40 deals,
Mm,
and within 2 years, she was the number one real estate agent in Maryland, D.C.
that's
Okay,
exciting.
uh, but yet there were probably thousands that
Yeah.
got their license around the same time she did, and
Yeah.
were out of the business. And it's just a
Wow.
mindset thing. You're right.
Yeah. It is such a mindset thing. And I talk to agents all the time, and it's just interesting how there's frustration around. I mean, this whole mindset thing also involves patience. It also involves faith, hope, trust. All of those things come into play when you're dealing with this mindset thing, and when you're dealing with business and you're dealing with family. If you don't have a clear sense of where this is all coming from and how this is all happening and who you are and where your passion is and where your true heart space is, then you're just struggling and you're just, trying to figure it all out. But when you are completely, um, what's the term I want to use? I just want to say completely educated and or completely exposed to information that will empower you, then things shift. Then it's all operating from an energy perspective, because this is all energy. Okay, everything is just like mindset. We say mindset is key. 90% of what happens is it starts with your mindset. Well, that all reverts back to energy. This is all energy. It's all energetic um, frequencies and vibrations. And we have so many things at our disposal, so many things that we have access to. And we just have to build the discipline, if you would, just the
Mhm.
same type of discipline that you use when you're going to do your lead gen. Do the two, right, Nolly? You do
Yep.
the two,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
you got to do the two. If you
Yeah.
don't do the two, then you can't expect to reap the benefits from. And it's all science, and it's all energy, and it's all it's operating on a much higher level than we are. So if we get in alignment with that truth, if we get in alignment with understanding who we really are, and understanding um, that we got to resonate with our true passions. You know, for years, people do things that they're not even passionate about. They just do it because they're making money and they need to
Right.
provide for their families, right? But they're not really doing. Then after all these years, they're burnt out. They're frustrated. They're not happy, and that's because they're doing something that is not in alignment. Now, I
Yeah.
have a
I'm gonna hold
yeah,
that thought, Toni, because you said something real important earlier too, that people are not conscious of what they say.
yes,
It's this whole concept of, you said 90% of the agents that you coached and mentored and
yep,
brokered
yep,
were of the mindset that they just had to hustle, they had to grind, they had to make money.
yep,
And I think we've all been taught these self-limiting beliefs that, oh, if it ain't hard, it ain't worth doing. If
hmm,
I've got to hustle and grind to get it. And what I think I hear you saying is that actually there's an easier way
Much
to
easier way.
success.
Hmm.
To success.
Absolutely. Much easier way. But you don't know what you don't know, right? So, and I don't, you can't make anybody wrong for not being uh, aware or not being conscious of. This is something we, just like you have to go to school to learn a skill set. This is the same thing. We got to go to school to get to learn how to manage our mindset and how to maintain our mindset at a level that is consistent and that has balance, so that all of these things just literally merge together and flow. Because at the end of the day, we want to be in flow. Flow is like, that's the following the path of least resistance. So when you're in flow, then everything kind of happens, and obstacles, they melt and they go away. But everything you attract, that in which you speak. Okay. So you have to be careful for what you speak. But more importantly, you really got to condition your mindset to know who you are, what you're here for, what your purpose is. And at the end of the day, it's not about the money at all. I hate to say.
Because we like money, don't we, Tony? I mean,
Yeah, we love it.
yeah,
We love
yeah,
it. But
yeah.
when you're chasing it,
Oh no,
it will
yeah.
run away from you when you're
Hmm.
chasing it. So there's certain things, and this is why I'm excited about, so fired up actually about this course, because when you tap in to certain energies and certain frequencies and you start to see the effects of that work, then you're like, wow, I can't believe. I have a lot of people that I've coached that after we do the exercises that we do, and I have them on very specific rituals, if you would, okay? Rituals, routines, whatever you want to call it. But when you practice it and you're consistent and you're doing it daily, then suddenly things just start opening up. You don't have to chase after things. Things come to you, right?
Yeah.
So
You
this is,
know, the interesting thing too about this, Tony, when you told me about this whole concept of mindset dynamics, it you've kind of I think you've partnered with Genius U, or of
yep,
course you partnered with Genius U,
yep,
and Roger Hamilton has put together something that is absolutely phenomenal with over 1 million entrepreneurs that are
right.
on that platform, and they specifically asked you. They got over 1 million entrepreneurs. This is 1 million business people that
Yep,
or it's like 1.4 million or some number
yep.
like that.
Just about
Um,
1.5, close to it.
1.5 million
Hmm.
entrepreneurs and business
Entrepreneurs.
owners,
Hmm.
and they Roger wrote the book, Millionaire. What's it? Millionaire Master Plan, or the
Yep.
Millionaire?
Millionaire Master Plan. Hmm.
Yeah, the Millionaire Master Plan. Phenomenal book. And they asked you partnered with them on this whole mindset dynamics concept.
Yep.
Um, Tell me about that, because that's interesting that partnership came about, because he doesn't partner with very many people. I know that.
Well, I'll tell you, I have to give credit to you and Artemis. You guys introduced me to Roger Hamilton, and that's wealth dynamics and talent dynamics. And this is a profiling system. Many of you have probably are familiar with the DISC, the Tony Robbins DISC.
Mhm.
And this is a little bit different of a twist with this particular assessment. This assessment combines, I don't know if many of you are aware of the I Ching, but it combines, it's an old Chinese philosophy of working with the seasons, working with the elements. When I say the seasons, I'm talking about fall, winter, summer, spring. When we talk about the elements, we talk about wood, water, metal. So what the work does is it combines. It's kind of like a combination of a spiritual business thing that's brought together with universal laws, for lack of a better way to describe it, right? The thing I was so, first of all, thank you for the introduction to the
You're
work.
welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.
Um, I was blown away. And this is really when I had a huge shift about how I was going to continue to be in the business. I knew I had served as the broker of record for all these years, and I knew I was coming to a point in my career and my life where I wanted to restructure how I was being. Okay. And that really was catapulted into place once I did wealth dynamics assessment and debriefing and really got super clear about who I am and what my purpose is and where my strength is, where my passion is. For all these years, I've been really good at what I do. I've been successful, but I was, I was going through the motions. Like I said, I was good, I've been successful, but at some point I started to burn out. And that was because my true passion was something that I was kind of keeping in the back, keeping kind of in the background as something that I love to do. I almost was treating it like it was a hobby. But the truth is,
Yeah.
this is my happy place. You heard people refer to being in your happy place, right? This being in the space, in the profile that I have, I gained so much freedom just learning who I was, why I do the things the way I do, where my passion is, and focusing on my strengths versus focusing on your weaknesses just made all the difference in the world. Suddenly, now I'm like, I'm doing what I love. I'm excited about it. And it just so happens that, it attracts, it's amazing. So the work with Genius University, that's the name of the university that Roger Hamilton has put together. And they came to me and they knew that I was working on a project for mindset. And they said, they have so many great tools and so many great courses, and they call them micro degrees. The beautiful thing about the Genius University is it is global, and it's very much in alignment with, our EXP world, if you would, but it's very global. And, there's just a wealth of information to support entrepreneurs and, people, business owners all over the world. And a lot of their work evolves around you getting in alignment with your true person. And you don't know who that is until you start to do the work and you study. So I got involved. I initially did an assessment myself. I was debriefed, and then from there I just got drawn to the work because this is right up my alley. And I thought, they've got wealth dynamics, they've got talent dynamics, and this talent dynamics, this is considered, this work is considered the number one business pathway to accessing and developing trust and flow in every business. So it's all about, it's really, he's talking about leverage and talking about teamwork. You really want to have an understanding as to who all of your partners are. What profiles are they? How can we empower each other through our profiles? And it really makes for a healthy environment, and it makes for a whole environment where everything is just in flow, and it's prosperous, it's productive, it's efficient, it's effective. And all of those things happen when you get everybody super clear about who they are. So
Toni, this is interesting because, your passion just glows. It just shows. So happy. I've always told people happiness is a byproduct of living your purpose.
Yeah.
Happiness is a byproduct of living your purpose. And at the end of the day, that's what we really want, is to be happy. I hear people, I want to make $1 million. At the end of the day, what you really want is a happy life. You want happiness. Yeah. And I heard you say that this is your happy place. It's quite interesting because, Toni, you and I have been teaching DISC for over a decade, I know, at least. And we love DISC. But when we found this modality, we're like, wait, this is like DISC on steroids. This is at least 10x. Exactly. And you went way down the rabbit hole a lot further than I did, where you actually partnered with Roger Hamilton and his team to create this phenomenal thing that is really it's probably the biggest thing that's missing in business. if I'll say it that way. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you get back on track with your thought.
You know, you're correct, Knolly. It is the most important thing in business. It's also a really important thing in our personal lives because, you know, we it, it affects us in every aspect of our life if our mindset is not in flow. If we're not in flow, then we're going to be rocked by all these things that are happening around us. You know, yesterday they had a big meltdown with the Facebook shut. You know, everybody was freaking out and flipping out. And I tell you, when you learn these techniques that I'm going to teach you, you won't be affected by any of this stuff, or you won't allow it to affect you in the same way that we reactions. I mean, we set ourselves up for so much distraught and anxiety when we're in a reactionary mode, when we're just reacting to stuff. And these processes, these techniques, these tools, these resources that I'm looking forward to sharing with everybody will literally help you to alleviate a lot of that stress, anxiety. It will give you confidence in a way that you've never had confidence before. And you will be blown away at how things just suddenly pop up and happen for you. Right. So
Yeah.
I'm
And it goes back to just discovering who you are and being who you are, and then allowing your mind to be in alignment with who you are. Because
right.
and here's an interesting thing. Like Sam put in here, he said, my purpose and passion is giving back to heroes through real estate. That's his purpose and passion. I think it's phenomenal, Sam, and Sam has been doing that for many, many years. But here's a key point I want to point out. A lot of times we believe that our purpose and passion is a doing, when really it's a being. It's a beingness, not a doingness. And this is something that even I had to learn, Toni, and because I've written books on how to find your purpose and everything like this. But the emphasis has always been on, okay, now my purpose is to serve this community by doing that. That's not really a purpose. That's a byproduct of your purpose, but that's not really a purpose. When you discover who you are, that's just a state of being, and you can be that on a mountain with no one around for a dozen years, and you can be who you are, or you can do it in a community of 1.5 million people, as Toni's doing. So that's part of what they'll discover too. And then we're going to give you guys some actionable stuff too, here, like a couple of things that you could, some takeaways that you could start doing right now. Of course, we're eager to learn more about the course too, and how and when that kicks off. All the how much is it? What's the investment? What's the investment and all that? But we'll get to that. And also, I see a few of you guys have your hands raised, so that's cool. We'll get to your questions. I promise we'll have a Q&A portion. And then if you do have a question, we do have a Q&A box. You can pop your question in there as well. Go ahead, Toni.
Okay, I'm going to just kind of go through the what we're going to do during the 6-week period. I think that might be a little helpful for you guys to kind of get your hands around. So how is this all going to work? As I said before, it takes time. I'm going to do a new share on the screen now.
Sure. Yeah, because Naftesh was asked, Toni, can you please give us a glimpse of these tools for us in order to get better understanding? So that's a great cue for this.
Yeah.
And because the I know I get it, guys, that whenever we speak on these things, it almost seems ethereal, right? Like it's atmospheric, if you will.
Yeah.
But again, real estate agents, they want to know, what do I do? What do I do? I'll do it right now. Hold on, wait, pull back. but so go ahead, Toni.
Yeah, that's so funny you say that, because they do. I don't understand what's happening. Why is this not working? Blah, 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 right? But the truth is, you need to stop, be still. And many people, it's not easy to be still. It's not easy to stop and be still and just take it in for a moment and be present. This takes us to the first week of what happens with mindset dynamics. And the first week is all about clarity. When you don't have clarity, then the universe is confused. The universe doesn't know what you want. So it can't respond to you. It can't support you. Okay. Clarity is the first thing we deal with. And we get super clear about who we are, what our genius is, what is it that really turns us on? What is it where is our passion? And so we have an assessment. There's several assessments that are available through Genius University, but I work with a specific assessment that's called Wealth Dynamics, and then there's Talent Dynamics. And both of them are designed. Wealth Dynamics is more for the entrepreneur and their business. And Talent Dynamics is more for us when you're doing team building. But we're gonna make it available for you guys to take an assessment. And that assessment is going to give you what your genius is and what your profile is. So that you can get that each profile has their own very unique distinction based on the answers that you provide for this little assessment. And it blows me away, Knolly. It blows me away that this little assessment doesn't even take more than 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And yet, after that 15, when you complete it, it pops out your results. And it's inevitable that it's just like on the money. It almost feels like it's tied to your date of birth or something like that, but you're not really putting in any details about your date of birth, but you're answering certain questions. Mm-hmm. And from those questions, it spits out exactly where you sit in the square. And there are 8 profiles. There are actually 5 frequencies, and there's 4 seasons. And like I said, this is like universal law combined with business. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you say, Knolly.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
no, it is. And there's something I teach called spiritual business mastery. And this is really, what you're talking about. Speaking on clarity, Dr. Hawkins has kind of a funny analogy. He says, just imagine you're in New York, you jump in the back of a cab and you give him half a dozen different instructions on where you want to go. So the guy says, hey, buddy, where you want to go? You say, hey, take me to 5th and Manhattan. And then he starts driving. You say, wait a minute, take me over here to such and such. And then you say, no, take me to New Jersey. No. And after about 4 or 5 times, he's going to kick you out of your cab. He's going to kick you out of the cab because, and here's how a lot of us actually treat the universe. Is we keep rattling off. Okay, I want this, I want that, I do. No, then they start doubting and they don't believe and all this. Yep. And this is the mind. This is how the mind operates. And this is the reason why a lot of people are in oscillating patterns, and they really don't get they don't ultimately get the success they want.
Yeah.
But clarity is huge. Clarity is huge.
Clarity is huge. And your mindset, your head. I'll say your head is out to get your behind. Okay.
Yeah. The cool thing about this work too, Toni, is this will probably be the first time that our students would go through something. And actually, once they have their assessment, they actually realize that there's because most people are like, what do I have to do? What do I have to add to my plate? Right. But when I did this, it was like I actually was able to eliminate half the things that were on my plate. It's like, wait a minute, I shouldn't be doing this. And I have no reason to do this. And by the way, I'm going to give up doing that. And I'm never going to do that again either. Yeah. And you become, it's very freeing. It was a very freeing thing. Absolutely. Because you don't have to explain or you get permission to be you, be you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know how many of us over the years, we don't really even know what we want. There's so many people who, it took me years to get really super clear about what I wanted, why I wanted it, So clarity is so powerful, but yet so not regarded, if you would. I think people don't regard the power and the importance of clarity. And maybe part of that has to do with them not really knowing how to become clear. Right. Yeah. Right. Knowing how to become clear. So that's week 1. Excited about that. Now, week 2, let me see if this changed here. Can you guys see my screen?
We can see it. Great. Hope, faith, and trust. Mm-hmm.
Hope, faith, and trust. This is something else that's kind of under regarded, if you would. a lot of people will say, oh, I have a lot of faith, you know, and I really believe, right? But then when things get a little bumpy, uh, all of a sudden they get fearful, or they get anxiety, or they get stressful because things are not, you know, there's a bump in the road, or there's things are not going, or maybe the deal fell out, or whatever it is. But you suddenly lose your confidence, you lose your faith, you lose your hope. And that is one of the main ingredients with this whole mindset thing. You gotta have faith. You got to have faith. You got to believe that this is possible, and that this can be for you. In many cases, we're operating from a very from a place of it's like the myth. It's like, well, you know, working is too hard, or it's I'm never going to be able to achieve what they achieve. Yeah, they're doing really great over here, but that's not really possible for me. And so when you start having to really understand the whole concept behind hope, faith, and trust, you can't have flow. Remember, I talked about the whole objective. I want to get you in flow. I want to get your business in flow. I want to get you personally in flow. But you can't have flow if you don't have faith. You can't have flow if you don't have trust and hope. And all of these things, while they all sound the same, they really have very specific spaces. And without it, then you can't access the things that you're going to need to access in order to become that magnet, in order to become that, you know, I don't know, I want to say effortless, but in order for you to really become efficient and fluid, you've got to have these ingredients. These are ingredients, you guys. We're talking about conditioning. Your mindset just doesn't become powerful and empowered without you doing something to infuse it, right? You got to infuse your mind with positive things, with things that empower you, things that help shift you. So you can't do that, and that doesn't just happen. You have to do the work. And so, you know how people will buy a book, or they'll buy a product, and they hope that they use this product, and then there's going to be miraculous results. And then after they use the product, they stop. They don't continue to use it, right? They think it's going to fix them, and then they don't have to do anymore, right? Just like lead generation, they send out one round of letters, or one round of postcards, or whatever it is, and they expect the phone to ring. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't quite work like that. You have to have consistency. My point in sharing that is everything requires consistency. So if you're going to develop and recondition your mindset, that means you're going to have to make a commitment to doing some things different and doing some things on a regular basis. Let me just go to week number 3. Now, week 3 is this is where the magic happens, okay? This is where we're going to start accessing the tools, the physical tools that are within our own being, within our own bodies, where we can do these things, and we can start bringing things to us. We can start attracting things to us. You know, I have one of these little exercises that I do. I'm just going to share a couple of things with you. Is first and foremost, I do this exercise called 10-10. And Knolly, you may be familiar with the 10-10, but this is where you, every morning, first thing you do is I mean, there's so many different things you can do first, but I'll just use this as an example. And that is to write down 10 things you're grateful for. And then write down 10 things that you want to attract into your life. And you write these down every day, and try not to duplicate them, but it's okay if you do. But the point is, when you do this for 21 days straight, that gratitude is going to melt all of those things that are out there that are giving you doubt and fear and anxiety. You start out with that gratitude exercise, and being clear about what you want to attract. The other thing that that whole process and that exercise does is it really makes you think. It really makes you think about, what do I want? You know, sometimes we think we want stuff, but we're not clear. We're not clear about what that is. So these exercises in week 3, I'm going to teach you how to do breath work. Breath work is also key. You know, breath work builds mindset. Okay. Breath work really is the foundation of mindset. Once you have a solid mindset, then you're going to start, your life will start shifting and changing. So all of these little techniques are things that you must do in order to access that gate to to happiness and freedom and you know, progress and prosperity, abundance. All those things come through doing the work. So you got breath work. We'll be doing meditation. I'll be instructing you on how. If you haven't had formal, I'm going to give you access to formal meditation instructions. Visualization and journaling. Oh my God, the magic of journaling. When you write something down, that's like taking it from here. You know, they say from God's. What do they say? From my mind to God's ears, or one of those things. They have a couple of different slogans, but the point is the magic of journaling. And I did an article. I'll share that article with you guys through the course, but it really talks about the power of the hand and really writing down. And I'll tell you a little story. About 4 or 5 years ago, I represented a client who was referred to me, and they were a sports figure, were coming in to play with the LA Rams, wanted to buy a home. He was already in contract with another agent on another property that was in a not so great neighborhood. And his friends introduced him to me and said, you got to talk to Toni. Just run this deal by her. Make a long story short, I have this thing where I write down what I am grateful for, and I'm going to be successful at finding the home for this person by such and such a date. I mean, real specific. And I write it down by hand 10 times. And then every day I read those all 10 times. I read it. I've written it 10 times. Now, technically, when you're really training, you would write it down every day, right? Because what you write, you're putting it out into the universe. What you think, you create. You write, it's all wired together. And then when you throw in visualization, and I'm sure many of you have heard about vision boards and things like this, you just start visualizing where you want to be, what it is you want to manifest. How many deals do you want to do this year? And what you focus on expands. I know you guys hear this all the time. I mean, this is no secret stuff. We've been talking about this for years, right? But why do you think Knolly, why do you think people don't stay consistent?
You know, I think, Toni, that a lot of it has to do with ego. I'll just throw it out there that way, because the ego says, well, wait a minute, I need to be center stage. I need to do something. I got to get the pat on the back for making this happen. It's by the sweat of my brow, and I got to bleed blood, sweat, and tears to get this. Whereas the universe is really flow. It's all about everything happens with ease.
Yeah.
And isn't it okay, guys, to go ahead and have a little ease now and then? Or aren't you ready? Do you feel ready to go ahead and just have this stuff naturally happen for you instead of you having to hustle and grind and scrape and scrimp to get it? So yeah, I think it's just a thing where the ego really doesn't get gratified, because this has nothing to do with us. This is,
no.
God Almighty, the universe is ready to plead our case and act on our behalf as soon as we really get serious about doing the work. And the work is easy.
The work is easy. And, you have to give the universe permission to support you. You can't just think it's all going to happen without you doing anything. No. You've got to give the universe permission to support you, meaning you've also got to make a commitment to do the work.
Yeah.
And then the pearly gates, as they would say, they just open up to you,
Yeah.
like Knolly says, and I say this all the time, we're not really running this.
Mm-mm.
We're really not running it. We think we're running it. That's our egos, right? Our egos are thinking, well, I'm going to do this and that, but the truth is, anything is subject to change. Look at what has happened with this world over the last 24 months. None of us could have predicted that, right? None of
Yeah.
us made that happen. This is stuff that is completely out of our control. And the
Yeah.
truth is, there's a lot of things that we're not running, we're not controlling. So having this empowered mindset allows you to also go with the flow when things change up on you. Like I said yesterday, when they went down in social media there for several hours, many people were just freaking out. But if you are in alignment with all of the forces and all of the elements and all of the goodies, if you would, when you're in alignment, those things don't affect you in the same way that they would be normally, right? They just
Absolutely.
don't. So this third week is powerful because this is where we really teach you how to access the tools that are going to start you're going to start seeing results. It's inevitable. You will see
Yeah.
results if you do the work. Okay.
Hey, Toni, believe it or not, we're at the top of the hour. Can you believe that already?
What?
We'll keep going. We'll keep going. This is good stuff, and we want to make sure everyone knows how they can access the course as well.
Right.
But I like what Wendy says here. She says, not seeing immediate results when you start doing the work. Instant gratification. That's another reason why so many drop off from doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
So,
because they're looking for instant gratification. Again,
right.
this is the whole idea of patience. We
Mm,
have to have patience because we don't have to have patience, but if you don't, you just you set yourself up for having these expectations, you set yourself up for disappointment.
right.
Okay. So
Right.
understanding how things just flow and work naturally, well, it's just an easier way to go. Um, so I just want to flip through to give you the rest of the weeks. So you got manifestation.
I like four. I like manifestation now. That's
Yes,
my game.
the
That's my jam.
manifestation, this is when it gets really fun, you guys. When you know how to manifest things and you start, just really being able to do it, like because you get intentional, you're very specific, you know what you want, you know how to ask for it, and you don't worry about how. That's not our business. How is not our business. So, but you got to be clear about what you want, and you got to be clear about why. Okay, it's what and why. Okay, and you can throw the who in there because there is relationships are everything, right? So it's
Right.
important to have these relationships. And of course, once you're in this zone of being able to manifest and really have access all of the abundance and the success and the balance, don't forget about balance because we got to have the balance. Then we got it. The real magic, the real ingredient is giving it back, being of service. We're here to be of service. And many people don't understand that we're really here to be of service. And then you can't receive if you're not giving. You can't, if you, and you don't give for the sake of receiving. You don't give for the sake of receiving. You give from your heart. You give because you're loved. And the rest of it will just take place. The rest of it will happen. Right. So
That's right.
service is important and making a
Hmm.
difference. This is about us making a difference in others' life. Even as a real estate professional, you're making a difference with your clients' lives. It's the most important transaction they're doing. They're depending upon you. They trust you. And ultimately the relationship evolves into a friendship over long term. But that's being of service. Okay. That is all about being of service. And when you are of service, then the universe says, hey, you know what? Don't worry, you're going to be provided for. We're going to take care of you. And like I said, you're not doing it for the sake of that, but when it's authentic and when it's genuine, it's all circular.
It's a universal principle, and
Yeah.
we both practice what's called servant leadership.
Yeah.
We lead through service.
Yeah.
And it is so I can't even describe the feeling that you get helping someone achieve their goals and
Yeah.
reach and you're helping their family as well, which means you're helping generations.
That's right.
Oh, it's just phenomenal. There's no feeling like it that I could describe.
Mhm.
Outside of some of the feeling states that we get through meditation, of course,
Right.
but it's just amazing. Service is so big.
Service is huge and necessary, and it, it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You've gotta exercise service, and the rest is in order. And then you've got retention and accountability. Week 6 is like, okay, so now we've got all these tools, Toni. Now we've got access to these resources. How do you maintain this? What do we need to do to maintain this? And this is where Knolly's big on coaching. I'm big on coaching. We're not, every team has a coach. Every major thought leader, personal development person, they all have to be held accountable. Okay.
Yeah.
And we all have to stay in a learning mode, because we're constantly learning. Things are changing and shifting on a daily basis by the moment. So it's key so this work doesn't just stop at 6 weeks. In other words, this work, you can continue this work on your own. And as long as you stay consistent, you will see the results. But we're all human beings, so we need to be held accountable, right? So
That's
that's
right.
something, we'll talk about that more in depth at week 6. But basically, we're starting the boot camp on October 28th. It's a Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be going for 6 weeks, but we're going to skip that week of Thanksgiving, and then we'll pick it up the following week.
Gotcha.
Like I said, it's Thursdays from 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 90 minutes. Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of fun, but I'm really, really fired up because I know what happens with people when they really tap into source.
No doubt, no doubt. And you sent me the link, Toni. Tell us about, how do we access the course? How do we get it?
Let me
What's the
let
investment?
Yeah, the
You have
investment, by the way, well, first of all, this is a really reduced price. It's $597 for the 6 weeks. So it's basically under $100 a week. You're getting access to me directly for the 6 weeks of sharing with you each of these steps. You're going to have access to my tools, all of my resources, the processes that I'm going to take you through during each week. And it's just going to be amazing. I mean, there's you really can't put a whole, it's invaluable information. Let's just put it like that. It's
no doubt,
invaluable. So
for sure.
$597 for the 6 weeks. And I'm going to be giving you guys a link here. Hang on a second, because I want to pull the link that I sent you, Knolly.
Yeah, and you want to put it in
And
the
I can
chat?
put it in the chat. Yeah.
Okay. So while she's doing that, yeah, we want to make sure we post the link for you guys to access, and let us know when you got that in the chat. I'll make sure. And I got to say, Toni, for me personally, I know I've invested probably $250,000, if not more, into
Yeah.
personal development.
Yeah.
I've had a coach since 8 months in the business.
Yeah.
I've never not had a coach, and I could tell you, the more money you make, the higher the coaches get.
Yeah.
So it started off when I was 8 months in the business, I was paying $1,000 a month. Then it got more, and eventually I was paying like $2,500, $3,000 a month. I mean, I charge an outrageous amount to coach one-on-one, $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
If you can believe that, that's my rate. So to get access to all this and you're able to do it at this phenomenal kind of pricing because it's group coaching. You're doing a group of people.
Yep.
Instead of one-on-one, because one-on-one would be astronomical for this
Yeah.
kind of a training, and it'd be worth every penny, because this is the secret sauce that's really going to move the needle, and it's what most people are missing. So you posted there.
Yep. This
Perfect.
will
Okay.
take you right to the page where you can read about the timing and the all that, and you can also purchase your ticket there.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, or you're watching the recording, I'm going to put a link down in the description below so that you can access this course. I definitely will be accessing it as well. I'll be taking the course along with you guys. I know there's some questions, and someone says they don't see the link. Okay, so
do you see the link?
oh,
Knolly?
it's direct to me. Hold on a second.
Okay, so let me do the
No,
thing.
it's good. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I just posted it out. Did I do it?
Great.
Hold on. All right. Hold on, guys. Bear with us. I just
I can
copy
also
pasted.
change it here and do it to everybody.
Oh, can you on your
Yep,
end?
I can do it to everybody.
Yeah,
right
do that because it's not letting me copy it. So
Boom. Here we go.
oh, here we go. Copy.
There. Does everybody see that?
Yep, we see it, and I was able to do it as well.
Okay.
So there. All right. So that's that's the information that we had for you guys. This I got to tell you, 10x in your income, 10x in your life, your family, your generations that go beyond you, because not only will you have the content, but this will be, Toni has a private group that she'll be coaching you in between the weeks, as well as, once you have this content, this is the kind of content that you're going to want to go ahead and teach to your children and your
That's
children's
right.
children. So you'll actually be able to share this with your team and so on. So powerful stuff. I know there's some of you guys that need to jump off. If you do, that's okay. And if anyone has a question, you can either raise your hand, or you can type it in the Q&A, or you can type it in the chat box. All right. So Janet says, thank you, Knolly and Toni, exclamation. So if this has been helpful to you guys, you got to run. You can throw it in the chat that this has been helpful. And, I know some of you guys need to jump off, but any questions out there, if you guys have any questions, we'll take those. And if anyone needs to raise their hand, let me pull up the participants so I could see. Okay, here we go. All right. Yeah, I think I don't see any questions, Toni. So I think, we'll go ahead and close out. But I guess in closing, I'd like to say that I think you did such a thorough job of because one of the biggest challenges, Toni, I think that we have doing this kind of work is explaining to people how important it is to do this kind of work. A lot of people want me to teach them, hey, what do I say? What are the scripts? What's the right letter to send out? What do I say to a client when they call? How'd you list 10 homes a month for 10 years in a row? Teach me the step by step. But and then they go out and they try to do it, Toni, and they fall flat. Yeah. Because what they don't see, it's like they see the iceberg, but they only see the part that sticks up above the water, right? Yeah. They don't see the part that's below the water, which is like 95% of the iceberg. Yep. And that 95% is mindset. It's yes, I said exactly what you said. Yes, I did exactly what you did. Yes, the letter was exactly the same letter I used. And yes, I got 5 times the results you did. Why? Because the way where my mind is, even something as simple as sending out an email. Now, this is going to sound freaky to a lot of people because this is a lot of stuff I don't teach, but I got Toni on the line, so I got permission to talk this way. But even when I send out an email, Toni, that email has a certain frequency embedded in it. Okay. That's right. When the sound of my voice right now, someone can be listening to this 500 years in the future, and there is an energetic field that's emanating from the video. Okay. Yep. Now this is freaky. It's weird, but it's just the way God wired this, just the way God set it up. I didn't have anything to do with it. That's right. And so, and even when you send a letter in the mail, there's an energetic frequency embodied around that letter. And so you can send it with, I don't know if these people are really going to do anything. And that's the frequency that will actually show up when you get, Now, when I send it out, I'm like a kid in, I'm like a kid at Christmas in anticipation. I'm like, I know you're going to call me.
Right.
It's not even
That's
a
right.
question.
Right.
And so the universe has to answer. It's like, okay, this Knolly again. Come on, y'all. Let's kick it up. This guy, he ain't stopping. He believes
Yep.
because here's the thing. When we don't know what we don't know, we operate in fear and doubt.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when we start to do this work, Toni, we go from fear and doubt to belief.
Yeah.
Okay. But then when you go beyond belief, at some point you just know.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even believe this stuff anymore. I just know it's real. Like,
Yeah.
you don't even question it. You don't, and then you go beyond knowing to being. It's just the
Mm.
way you are. It's
It's
just
just the way you are.
just
That's
you, the
right.
way you wake up thinking this way. So we're
Hmm.
not talking about, even though when we say do the work, we're not talking about a work that you have to do all of the rest of your life. This
Right.
is, now you do have to, I mean, we still do the journaling and all that stuff. I do my meditation every day and all that. We still do that, but not because we want to because we're trying to train the mind. We do it because it's who we are.
Right.
It's our being.
Hmm.
It becomes part of your
Hmm.
beingness. So actually what life becomes is one miracle after another.
Right.
You just see,
That's
it's
right.
like one, I already know right after we get off the phone right now, I'm going to get a call and it's going to be a big deal, or
Yeah.
it's just going to happen because
Yeah.
that's the way that my
It's
life
how.
has become
Yeah.
from doing the work. And I got to tell you, Toni, I didn't invest 597. I invested probably $250,000 and
Sure.
20
Yeah.
years, not 6 weeks. And
Yep.
what you're doing is you're actually taking all of this compounded knowledge that you and I have become, and
Yep.
you're deducing and getting it down into a time frame that you say,
Yeah.
here's the essentials, do
Yes.
this, and
Yes.
you'll have, the empowered mindset through
Hmm.
mindset dynamics. So
Yep.
I want to thank you for this work. It's a big, big contribution to humanity, for sure.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Nolly. It's really my pleasure. It's my honor. And I really genuinely want to see everybody access this because
Yeah.
it is so powerful. It is so, so, so powerful. You will change your life. Everybody around you will be shifting. And your whole world will just shift. And
Yeah.
suddenly you'll be like, wow, how come I haven't been doing this longer? Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just a couple comments and then we'll sign off.
Sure.
Mary Mann, it says, y'all's mindset and energy comes through. Thank you so much, Mary, for
Thank
that.
you,
She says,
Mary.
and then Victoria, I like what she says. She says, Victoria Alexander says, very good information and very true. It will change your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says, Nolly, wait a minute. I didn't see this part. Let me put on my glasses. You see that, Toni?
I
She
see
says,
it. Nolly, you look very well and healthy and young.
okay. All right. Many
Oh,
blessings.
that's
Well, thank
good.
you. Well, thank you.
Many
I'm glad you,
blessings. Thank you.
yeah.
That's
All
awesome.
right. God bless
And
you guys.
that's
Mm,
mindset too, by the way, will keep you young.
that's right.
Yeah.
Young forever. Yeah.
Young and
Yeah.
healthy.
So, how long do we have to register? Someone says, I don't have the cash today. And that's another exercise, right, Toni? You write
That-
down 10 times,
That's right.
I have the cash for this course, right?
You cannot say I don't have the cash. That
Yeah.
is, I'm going to be wearing you guys out big time because we say things that we don't even realize what we're putting out there in the universe. So if you say, I don't have the cash today, then you're not going to have the cash today. But
Oh, that's a
you
good
know
point.
what?
Because we're declaring,
We're
we're making a
declaring it.
declaration. Yeah.
That's
That's a
right.
good point.
So mindset is all about the word. It's what you speak, you create. You are going to, it is going to come to you effortlessly. You just have to know. And everything works itself out, right? You want to
Yeah.
come to this class, all you have to do is say, I'm coming to the class. I'm coming to the course. No matter how, I'm not going to worry about the how. I just know I'm going. And that's that, right?
Yeah.
He said, but I'm working to have it tomorrow.
I love it. I love it.
Ah,
Maria is so awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
And thank you guys for this, because we're not getting after you. We're just this has taken us a lot of time to learn as well, but it was a great investment to learn this stuff. And and we realized too, Toni, that because I do a lot of stuff for free and you do a ton of stuff for free.
Yeah.
But what we have learned is that when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. I
Right.
remember one of my coaches, one of my Russell Brunson, one of my biggest mentors and coaches, he mentioned that when he was in he was in wrestling, he
Yeah.
was in school and he was in wrestling class, And the coach came to him and says, "Hey, I got a tape. I want you to watch it. And this is going to make you one of the greatest wrestlers." And it actually did. He became number one in his state through what he learned. But the coach says, "Now go get your wallet." So Russell goes and gets his wallet. He says, "Let me have your wallet." And the guy grabs his wallet and pulls out all the cash that was in the wallet, puts it in his pocket, and gives him the wallet back. And Russell's like, "Coach, why'd you just take all my money?"
Right.
He says, "Because I know this was the money that I just took. That's an investment in you watching this right now. Now I know you're going to watch it. Now I know you're going to watch it."
Right.
And a lot of times and what Russell says all the time, he says, when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. And sadly, it's true. I mean, anyway, but that's just, I'll leave that as it is. I know I've had to invest in my career because the free stuff, I got in a stack over here, but the stuff I'm paying for, $2,000 a month, my coach, like my coach Pamela, that's $2,500 a month. I listen to what she says. I guarantee you. So, hey, love you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Toni.
Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for coming and investing in yourself. This is what you're doing. So, it will pay off if you do the work. Got to do the work.